Welcome back into DSI. Now, we covered Maryland. Now let's head to Delaware. As we mentioned at the top of the show, the season is coming down to the last few games, so those playoff pictures starting to become a little clearer.
Yeah, that's right. So Henlopen North, Dover already clinched. Really not a shocker to anybody.
A couple weeks ago.
They have the regular season title, but two teams with deep playoff runs in mind, so aspirations there out in Camden. So Cesar Rodney and Sussex Tech, they've been playing pretty well as of late. Now, off the opening tip, Jaden Corbett, ran wild. 3 after 3, 4 of them total in the first quarter, 16 points in all in 8 minutes, en route to his team high 25 on the night. Wow. CR opens the game on a 17-3 run. Now Tech, they would chip away at the lead, and with 10 seconds to go in the half, Devin Reynolds with the triple to give the road team a 1-point lead, but CR comes right back down. Kamal Marvel from the corner to beat the buzzer. Home team up 1 at the break.
Second half, all Tech. This guy, Ricky Kane, did his thing. Slashing all the way to the rack for the lay-in, followed by a strong post move up and in for a and one right there. 12 of his 20 coming in the second half before he left with an injury. His partner in crime on that night, Skylar Johnson, one of his best games of the year. 28 points for that guy. Tech getting their 5th win in a row, 71-64.
All right, so there's really no doubt about it at this point. Sussex Tech, blistering hot. They have to be viewed as a legitimate contender, not, to go all the way, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we had them in our power rankings as the second best team after Dover. That's just how hot they are right now. To see them go in, they lost at home to CR, I believe, by 12 points. To see them go to Cesar Rodney a couple weeks later and beat that team, a pretty good team in CR, whose only losses had come to Dover at this point. That's pretty impressive by the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a weird comparison, but we saw Delmarva football 2 seasons ago beat Woodbridge for the Henlopen South title game, and every vibe you got from that team was that they are extremely hot heading into the playoffs. They were disrespected, came in as that 8 seed, and then they won the title. Not saying Sussex Tech is going to do the same thing, but right now, the way that they're playing, and I think it started with that Dover game where they brought it to within 4 points of handing Dover their first loss of the season.
In Georgetown, right?
That's right. At home, but they ended up dropping by 12. Now they rip off 5 straight wins. A lot of confidence heading into the end of the year.
You want to know what's weird? Tech's only loss in this stretch is to James M. Bennett. Go figure. Bennett's having a rough time right now. Bayside Henlopen, you never know.
You never know.
Very true.
Sussex Tech playing very well. And for more games in the Henlopen, let's send it back over to Jonah.
Well, let's hop right into things. We're going to move to the Henlopen South, a Route 13 rivalry with Delmar taking on Laurel. First half, all Wildcats. Vershawn Spence knocks down the 3 from the top of the key. Cats playing a little defense as well. Jeremiah Lumpkin-Beal going up strong and getting the block. And then in the second half, Laurel going on a bit of a run. Pretty passing, navigates the defense, and is capped off by a Deshaun Matthews layup wide open on the opposite block. But the Wildcats just too strong in this one. Underneath the basket, it's Isaiah Kane who goes with the reverse layup. Delmar picks up their 12th win of the season with a final 68-48 over Laurel. To the girls, Woodbridge still undefeated at 18-0. Sussex Tech trying to hand them their first loss of the season. Early on, out in transition, Sierra Smith spots a streaking Michaela Serpa for the lay-in. But the Ravens hanging tough on the road. Ariel Parker with the dish to Micah Shelton for 2 in transition. The Blue Raiders would be up 14 at half, though. And in the second half, Tech looking to make their run. Camille Scott wide open. She nails the triple, so the Ravens cut that lead to 7. Woodbridge closing things out as they've done all year. Off the miss, Smith is there for the rebound and 1, followed by Janira Scott with a great lob pass to Chikaya Johnson in the post. Game high 14 for her. Woodbridge, they're 19-0 over Sussex Tech, 44-34.
We had to make sure we ain't played down just because we was up. We had to make sure that we was still working hard, came out like how we came out the first time.
As a freshman coming up, it was just like everybody was like just now noticing us. And we just had to put on the show this year and show them that we good.
So Woodbridge, the South champs, and the North champs, Cape Henlopen, hosting St. George's tonight. Senior night for the Vikings. First quarter, former Delmarva Sports Insider Player of the Week, Dania Cannon, finding Abby Hearn for the kiss off the glass. And then last week's Player of the Week, Morgan Mahoney, with the finish inside. It's a DSI party up there in Lewis. Vikings start the game on a 15-0 run. Then here's another freshman star, Micaiah Applewhite with the lay-in. Cape up 19 at half. Second half, keeping their foot on the gas. Senior Alexis Watkins on the cut and finish. Vikings coast past St. George's 67-34. They get Woodbridge in the Henlopen Championship next week. Let's go back over to the desk.
All right, a couple more scores. Cape Henlopen boys, my goodness, what a year they are having. They're having a rough go at things. They fall to St. George's, and I think Nashawn Bones Highland only had, he had less than 20 points in this game, but they fall hard to St. G's. And Lake Forest, they fall to Appo, a really surprising loss, in my opinion, to the Henlopen South champions.
All right, so you see that big score in the bottom left-hand corner. Delmarva Christian 66, Gunston School 15. So that's a pretty big gap.
Okay,
and then St. Thomas More dropping to Holly Grove by 13.
Surprising.
So that's actually, it's a surprising score. It was a good game.
Yeah.
All right, so as we get to playoffs, it's obviously Dover, Sussex Tech, and then the field, right? Those are the top two.
I would say so. We obviously know Dover is the top, one of the top teams in the state. But as far as the Henlopen goes, Dover and Sussex Tech are obviously the top two. But there are some teams in the Wilmington area and parts north of Dover that will give any team in the Henlopen a challenge. St. George's, one of the most explosive players in the country, in Bones Highland, and we can't forget about Jair Davis and those guys. So it's not wrapped up by any means by Dover just yet.
And that's exactly what we saw last year. We had Smyrna run the table for the most part here, and then St. E's comes and you get him at University of Delaware. But you're absolutely right. You got Eden Davis, you have Elijah Allen, and you have the best backcourt, in my opinion, in the state of Delaware. Both of them are juniors. So Eden Davis, I don't know if he's eclipsed 1,000 points, but he's pretty much, it's coming up. And you have Elijah Allen. So those two can anchor this team to a state championship if they play well enough.
You know what? Woodbridge girls are really impressive as well. But one of the more exciting things that we're going to see next week is them match up against Cape Henlopen in the Henlopen title game. That is going to be very interesting.
While we were watching those highlights, small prediction, seeing them play this past week against Sussex Tech, giving up a little bit of a lead, I may pick Cape in that game.
Really?
You know, this is going to be a really good game.
It's going to be a really good game.
Match up, they match up so well. Both of them have great guards, and both of them have athletic bigs. I think it's going to be one of the best games that we see all year.
There you go. Well, playoff basketball, one of the best times.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we do have to take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll have a look at some of the top stories in news, including the latest on the homicide investigation in Harrington. We'll also have more sports highlights coming up.
Applewhite. I'm from Cape Henlopen High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.